I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to align yourself with your soul's purpose, with your soul's journey, with your soul's calling. Because if you've been guided to watch this video, you absolutely have a calling. You absolutely have a purpose. Now, here's the thing is that a lot of us have these doubts, and we doubt that we have a purpose. We have this intuition speaking to us, telling us to take action on certain things, telling us to follow some path. And so we literally have our higher selves communicating to us on a consistent basis, but we ignore this higher self, we ignore this calling, and we have the ego coming in telling us why we can't follow this. Now understand this, you have a purpose. You have a life purpose, and you came on this planet for a reason. And if you've been guided to watch this video, then you absolutely have a purpose, and the universe is probably trying to tell you to follow your purpose right now, because you know as well that if you're watching this video, that there are no coincidences and that everything happens in divine, perfect timing. So if you're new to this channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I post a new video every single day. Also, I do powerful one-on-one sessions, so if you want to apply for a free consultation, hit the link that's in the description box of this video. So following your life purpose is about aligning yourself first with the present moment, because there's the formless part of who you are as consciousness, which is not a form, but you also have to honor the human level and who you are at the human level, at the ego level, at the patterns, at the pattern level. Like, the human level needs to be honored as well, because what I notice with a lot of my clients is that a lot of my clients have this desire to get to a higher state of consciousness, right? To get to that state. It's like, Francis, I just want to be more conscious. I don't really care about the external reality. I don't care about money or success. You know, Francis, what I really desire is just to be a very conscious human being and align myself with consciousness. Right? That's what I really want, Francis. I want to be conscious, and I want to be aligned with that state of consciousness and feel good most of the day. Now, here's the thing you have to understand that I always see with my clients is that part of aligning yourself internally is also to align yourself externally at the human level as well, because there's no separation between these two things. Ultimately, these things are connected, and you cannot separate the formless and the form. So to align yourself with consciousness is also to align yourself in a certain way at the human level as well. And you can't neglect that. Your consciousness will not get to the levels that it can get to if you're still stuck in toxic relationships or dysfunctional environments. It's just not going to happen. In order to get to the level of consciousness that you desire, there comes a level of alignment that you need to get into on the human external level as well, which is ultimately connected with the internal, absolutely. But here's the thing is that a lot of people they neglect the vision. They neglect following their calling. Now, here's the thing is that for every person, it's different. For me, how I follow my soul's purpose right now in this present moment is recording this video. In other moments, it could be eating healthy foods. In other moments, it could be fully being involved in a conversation, being 100% present to the moment. Now you see, it's whatever the present moment guides you to, because from that state of consciousness and detachment from your ego and being conscious, you'll be guided to take action on something externally as well at the human level. Now, you need to trust that intuition, because like I started saying at the beginning of the video, a lot of people have this intuition speaking to them as they become more present to the moment. Like, they have this intuition, they're like, you know, this friendship just like doesn't resonate with me anymore. And then it's like, you know what, I'm not gonna listen to that, and I'm gonna keep talking with this person anyway. Well, your higher self was literally giving you insights, telling you how to get to the next level. Or your higher self says, go take action on this new project. Now you have this beautiful idea coming through from a higher state of consciousness. Now what happens? The ego comes in and starts to tell you why it can't happen. Fear, anxiety, doubt, worry. We see the heavy emotions start coming in. It's like, I don't really know if I can do this. I don't know if I should follow this path, Francis. I don't really know if this is the path for me. I don't know if this is meant for me. Well, you see, when you were in that flow state, you didn't have any of those doubts. It's only when you started to get trapped in your mind again that you started to doubt yourself. Understand that if you're on this planet, you have a calling and you have a purpose. And to follow that purpose is to align yourself at the consciousness level, but then also honor who you are at the personal and ego level, which will allow you to manifest what it is that you want, to manifest your true desires. Manifestation is about being aligned with the present moment, taking action as the masculine, putting in the action, putting in the work. You see, people can get very lost in this whole law of attraction, like fairy tale kind of mentality where you just trust the process, trust your soul's journey. Now, don't get me wrong. Trust the process, trust your soul's journey, trust the universe, trust the divine guidance that you are literally given on a moment-to-moment basis. But now here's the thing as well, is that you have to take actions as well. You see, I'm putting in the work. I'm recording a video daily to help give people value, to help make an impact on the world. I'm recording videos day in, day out. I'm reaching out to my clients day in, day out. I'm putting in the work. I'm meditating every single day. Now, here's the thing though, is that I also understand there's an element of trust. And I'm not saying that to show off. I'm saying that from a perspective of, I want you to understand that there's going to be this balance of surrendering and also putting in the masculine energy when it comes to following your purpose. You see, you can't just trust. You need to take some actions. Take some actions. Follow your purpose. Follow the intuition that's telling you to take action. You see, it's this polarity. Trust the intuition, but then bring it into the actions that you take. Start trusting your intuition. If your intuition's telling, like in this journey of consciousness, as you awaken, as you become more conscious, you're going to start having, intuitions telling you like, hey, you know what? Maybe that person is not in alignment for me anymore. Trust that intuition. Your higher self is consistently speaking to you through synchronicity, through even the voice in your head, through feelings of feeling in your body. But you see, you only have access to this when you become very present to the moment and start to detach from your ego and connect to the truth of who you are. Now, the more that you connect to this present moment, the more that you align yourself with the present moment as consciousness, you'll naturally have a higher level of awareness towards what your true path really is, because you've already let go of so many things that don't serve you. You're going to let go of relationships. You're going to have this intuition to let go of jobs. Maybe if you don't like the job. I'm not saying don't be practical. Don't be practical, but be mindful that sometimes the ego will tell itself it needs to be practical when in fact it is just fear of your dream not working out. Like when I was dropping out of school 6 months ago, I realized that the only reason I wouldn't drop out of school is because of my fear that was related to my dream not working out. Now, the moment that I realized that, I told myself I have to drop out of school because I actually reached the pain threshold to not follow my path. You see, what we talk about in life a lot is, okay, what is the consequences of following my soul's journey? It's like, oh, what is the consequences of dropping out of school or doing this? Well, then rarely do we think about what are the consequences of not following your soul's path? What's the consequence of that? What's the consequence of not following your true purpose? Now, you got to get into the pain a little bit. Sit down with that pain. What is the consequence of not following your soul's journey and following the higher self communication that you have been given on a daily basis? What is the cost of that? Because there's a huge cost to that. For me, I reached the pain threshold in my life where I realized that I don't want to be in a 9-to-5 job doing software development. I don't want to be studying in college doing something that I hate, that I have absolutely no passion doing. It just hit me and I realized that it's time for me to let go of this. But I got to that point because I became so present to the moment, because I became so conscious, I became incredibly conscious of what wasn't in alignment for me any longer, in alignment with my soul's journey, in alignment with what I truly wanted. You see, school wasn't in alignment with that any longer. So it just had to be something that was let go of. It had to be. Now, here's the thing is that as you become more conscious, as you become more present to the moment, as you start to wake up to the truth of who you are, you're going to start getting these intuitions that you have to let go of certain things. Don't let your ego convince you why you shouldn't let go of these things. Your intuition's always speaking to you. Trust that. Trust that intuition. Because a lot of you may be awakening, a lot of you might be already on the path thinking, oh, I need to do more healing work. I have to let go of more shadows. No, you've already let go of so much. You've been through so much. It's time for you to step up and follow your soul's journey. It's time for you to look into the future. See your manifestation before it becomes a reality. See it and feel it before it becomes a reality. Feel into it. See the vision for what you want to create. Follow that intuition. It's like you're always getting this intuition, but you may have been doubting it. Like maybe you don't have to let go of anything anymore. Maybe you've already learned how to meditate, how to let go. Now it's time for you to bring it into your daily life, which is what I share with you in the Awareness Shifting course, by the way. It's about understanding how to follow your soul's journey now. Like that's what it's about. It's not just about meditating and then surrendering and then letting go. It's okay if you already let go. Now it's time to bring it into your daily life, into your social interactions, into your career, into the way that you communicate with the world. What person do you want to be? How do you want to show up in the world? Now it's going to be different for each person. For me, it's recording a video right now. I coach clients one-on-one. I help people transform their lives. That's what I love doing. I love to be a transformational presence in the world, which is what my coach taught me. Be a transformational presence. Now, if you're watching this video and this resonates with you, I want you to hit that like button and leave a comment down below talking about your soul's journey and what it is that you want to do to show other people that you are on this path as well. Show other people that they're not alone. Leave a comment down below right now, because other people are also doubting themselves. But if you lead by example, you'll see that you can follow that. Like the heaviness or the fear or the anxiety around following your purpose is gonna come up inevitably, you see, because every time you step up to that next level, you're gonna have the old ego patterns telling you why you can't do it, why you can't take action, why there's going to be fear. Of course there's going to be fear. When you're up leveling, you're letting go of the old. The process of change is about letting go of the old self, right? That's where you need to step back into your feminine and surrender and let go of that old self. Now, once you've let go of that self and you've realized what it is that's stopping you from stepping up into that journey, take more action and keep going. Oh, now there's more patterns. Oh, now I have money belief systems. Let go of that. You see, I had an intuition drop out of school. I had to let go of certain patterns that were blocking me from stepping up into that vision. Then I knew I had to hire a coach. Okay, I found the coach that I want. Well, actually, he charges thousands of dollars. Oh my gosh, I don't have that money. I actually did have the money, but I had money belief system fears. That's what I have to let go of. I invested the money anyway. I let go of those money blocks. I ended up making that money back in the following months because I let go of my money blocks. You see, every time you up level, every time you get to that next level in life and you try to change, there's going to be resistance and the old self is going to try to come pull you back in. That's when you want to step back into your feminine and let go of that and then keep moving up to your journey. But you see how the core of all of this is consciousness. Consciousness guiding you on your path. Consciousness guiding you to go where it is that you need to be. Allowing the consciousness to guide you at the human level. You see, understanding that you are consciousness and that you are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience, but then also honoring that you are still a human being and following what is in alignment for you and what it is that you want to create. So just to conclude this video, following your path, following your true soul's journey is going to be different for you than it's going to be different for you than it is for somebody else. It's going to be different for each person. Every single person has a different individual, unique path, but the core of it is the consciousness. The core of it is to become your higher self, become who you are meant to be, and follow that despite the fear, despite the anxiety, despite the worries. Understand that those negative emotions are not actually who you are, and that you are in fact a consciousness, but you still have a body and you need to honor that as well and let go of things that aren't in alignment with you any longer. Follow your true path. What is the consequence of not following your path? Now, don't be afraid to go into the heaviness of that question. You see, when I ask a question like that, what's the consequence of not following your path? There's a lot of anxiety that might come up. Don't be afraid of that, because that's what will drive you to follow your path. If you have anxiety, it's like, Francis, I feel anxiety around that question. Shouldn't I be focusing on my vision? No. Step into that pain. Step into the pain of what your life looks like 5-10 years down the line if you keep going on the path that you know is not meant for you. Step into that pain. Feel into that pain. Feel into that negativity fully. And observe it and allow it to be there and step into your feminine. Let go of that pain. You see, that's where you need more healing work, because that's the part of you that's still attached and wants to stay comfortable. Comfort can be your greatest enemy. If you become uncomfortable and you step into that pain, that's what you might need to step up into your soul's purpose. Feel into that pain. Don't resist it, because that's what you're going to need. You can do this consciously by unlocking this part of yourself with this question I'm asking you, or you can wait for the universe to push you into so much uncomfort that you finally realize that you want to make a change. Now, don't wait for that to happen. Just start thinking about what your life looks like, and that's what you might need. That's all you might need to step up into your soul's purpose, is just start thinking about what your life looks like. What a powerful question. What a powerful question to ask yourself. What is your life going to be like? Because you start to visualize like, oh, I don't actually want this. Like, I was dropping out of school and I was like, oh, well, what does my life look like if I stay in this program? Oh, well, I'm going to be at a desk programming for companies. I was like, no, absolutely not. This is not what I want to do. Absolutely not. But under no circumstance will I ever live my life in a 9-to-5 job ever again. Right? I told myself, I'm going to keep working on my business. I'm going to keep working on my channel, following my purpose, spreading value to others. Right? If I have to take a part-time job, then I would have done that, but I didn't need to. So I kept following my purpose. But there's no circumstance in my life where I would ever go back to a 9-to-5 job, because I reached that pain threshold and I started to see like, oh, I didn't actually want this life in the first place. I thought I did. Now, don't be afraid to go into that, because it's either going to happen naturally, the universe is going to show you, or you can just start thinking about it now and step up into your soul's purpose. Now, once you realize that that pain is not tolerable anymore, what do you really want? Follow the intuition that comes from your soul's purpose and being aligned with the present moment. You see, that's when you don't need to let go anymore. That's when you need to get excited. Get excited about your vision. Follow your highest excitement. Follow what you truly want to do. Follow that feeling. Follow the intuition that you have been given from your higher self, which is ultimately you, because your higher self is you. You are the universe. You're not separate from the universe. You are the universe. But also you're receiving a divine higher guidance. So follow that. Why are you doubting it? Just follow it. Like, you can't go on the wrong path. And if you go on the wrong path, well, ask yourself this. Is it worth it to you to go on that path because you know that the other path is going to be worse for you because you felt into that pain? You see, like for me, it's like, okay, if everything goes to crap and I totally lose, like everything goes bad, at least I followed my path and at least I followed my highest excitement. Now, of course, I'm very masculine about this, and I also take action. I take radical action, and I use a little bit of my logic. I don't just trust the universe, and it's not like I don't use any logic, which is what a lot of people can get lost in law of attraction community with. But I also understand that to create the business that I want is radical action taking, putting in the work, and also trusting the process. And so the more that you do this, you realize that you don't have to resist following this, because you see that it's actually better for you to follow that path versus following the other path. Like you've had so much awareness and consciousness that you already see the difference. Like, oh, okay, it's clear to me. Why would I follow this path if it's not for me? You follow the right path. It's just easy. It becomes easy because you've hit the pain threshold and you've had awareness of it. You see, what is the core of that pain threshold? Consciousness and awareness. And that's why as you spiritually awaken, you tend to let go of all these things and you end up following your purpose because you're so conscious of that heavy energy that doesn't serve you anymore. Now, when you go through this process, I want you to trust that intuition and don't doubt yourself, because there are things that you already have known are not in alignment for you to get to where it is that you want to be, but you've been doubting that. Why are you doubting that? You've been given like little nuggets of gold from the universe and you're not following it. Just trust the process more, but also take radical action. Take radical action. When you realize that your soul's purpose is ultimately going to be the best path for you, even the consequences of that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's consequences of following your soul's journey. There's consequences. Are you ready to let go of your job? Potentially, if that's what you want. Are you ready to let go of relationships? Now, I'm not saying you have to do this. Be practical about this. Maybe you're not ready for that. You see, there's consequences to following your soul's journey as well. You're gonna have to say no to, doing certain things. Like I had to say no to negative energy in my life. I had to say no. I had to create a healthy boundary between me and my family and also certain friends that I used to hang out with and say no. Like it's not even that I had to explain myself to certain people. I just have to create that boundary. I'm okay with that consequence. Are you ready for the consequences of following your soul's journey? Are you ready for the consequences? Are you ready to drop out of school like I was? Are you ready to invest money in a coach if you feel called to do that, despite the money fears and the money blocks? Are you ready to radically transform your life and go through an awakening process that will forever change your life? Now, ultimately, this will be the best path for you, but is there going to be fears and anxieties and worries and obstacles? The ego labels things as obstacles along the way. Are you ready for that? Because I don't want you to get into this mentality. It's like, oh, just follow your soul's journey and everything's going to be okay. No, this is going to be a powerful journey where you're going to be triggered and you're going to have to face those triggers head on and face your inner demons. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Do you have enough meditation practices in place to be able to let go of all those patterns as you step up into your vision? Because they will come up. Are you ready for those consequences? And then maybe thinking like, whoa, Francis, there's a lot of consequences to that. Now go back to the consequences of following the path that is not meant for you, because there's consequences to that as well. Are you ready to go through the consequences of staying in a 9-to-5 job that you hate? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for the consequences of staying in dysfunctional, toxic relationships, codependent relationships? Are you ready for the consequences of continually eating bad habits or doing habits that you know aren't serving you anymore for your highest soul's journey? You see, there's consequences to either perspective in life, but the question is, there's always going to be opportunity costs. There's always going to be consequences. That's what my coach and my mentor taught me. So powerful. Because I started to think like, oh man, I've been so focused on my business that I feel like I'm missing out on the old stuff that I used to do. I explained to my coach and he said, Francis, well, you're always going to miss out in life, but you're choosing what you want now as a conscious creator. And I was like, oh yeah, I chose this. I accepted the consequences of this. And then I aligned back into my purpose. Opportunity cost. That's how life is. There's always consequences. When you take action in one direction, you're potentially missing out on the other direction. And there's consequences to the path A or path B. But feel and be conscious of which path you take and realize that there's going to be consequences. For me personally, the consequences of following my soul's journey, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take following the patterns. I'll take peeling back the old layers of my old self. I'll take handling my money fears. I'll take being triggered and challenging myself and letting go of the old subconscious programming so I can step up into my highest vision. I'll take all of that because I'm okay with that. But if you're not okay with that and you feel like you need to stay in a 9-to-5 job, then like do that by all means. Like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a 9-to-5 job. It's just like, what do you want, you know? Like what do you actually want to do with your life? That's the question. So, because when I used to make videos, I used to be like, follow your guidance, follow your highest calling, trust the universe. And it's like, yeah, but like there's consequences to that. There's serious ramifications to following your purpose, you know? Serious practical ramifications. Now, don't get too caught up in those ramifications as well, because your fear can make more things scary than they need to be, because you can get trapped in that as well. So you see, it's this balancing act. Yeah, there's ramifications, but then the ego can blow them out of proportion, make them too scary, and then now you don't take any action at all. Like you see, it's a balancing act of masculine and feminine. Knowing when to take the right choices, make a masculine choice, but then take a step back and trust. Balance the polarities. Now, to conclude this video, understand that you have a soul's purpose. And that I personally would recommend to you, if you're still watching this video this far, that you should just follow it. If this message is resonating with you, hit the like button so more people can see this message, and leave a comment down below if this is resonating with your heart. Because you probably have a soul's journey. Not even probably, you have a soul's journey. And if you're still watching this video, then maybe it's time you follow that. Maybe it's time you step up into your purpose. And yeah, there's going to be consequences to that. I understand the anxiety and the fears and the worries, but like you're going to be more anxious probably if you don't follow that. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be more anxious. Like just be realistic as well on the other end of the spectrum. There's a side of fear and there's a side of love. There's consequences to both of that. You follow your love and you follow your highest excitement. Yeah, it's going to be challenging sometimes. But if you have right systems in place, you have a coach to guide you, you have daily meditation habits, you have yoga, you're eating healthy, you're putting in the work, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be able to work through those negativities, those egotistical triggers that are inevitably going to come up as you follow your soul's journey. There's consequences, of course. I used to not explain this in my videos, but like I'm being straight up with you right now. Yeah, there's consequences to following your journey, but there's also consequences to not following your journey. So that's all I have for this video, but keep in mind that, maybe it's time to take more action and feel into the pain of not actually following your path and be okay with that. Step into the uncomfort and fully feel into it so that you can see the ramifications of not following your journey as well. So that's all I have for this video. If you want to download my free guided meditation that might give you a little bit more clarity and deal with this heavy energy that you might be feeling with, then hit the link that's in the description box of this video. I'll also leave it as a comment in this video. What this meditation does is it helps you connect deeply to the present moment, which may actually give you more clarity on your soul's journey, because that's ultimately where you get all your insights in life from your deeper higher self, is when you're connected deeply to the present moment. So if you want to try that, just download it. It's totally free. That's all I have for this video, and I'll see you in the next video.